Hello everyone, my name is Sidonia Madhu and I'm joining you today to speak about the next upcoming new moon in Taurus happening on the 8th of May. And in my opinion, this will be a very grounding, very healing, very recentering energy. It will allow us that necessary space for us to reintegrate back all the lessons we have been learning over the past days and even months. Humanity and all of us at an individual level, we have been undergoing such a major change, such a major transformation and evolutionary leap. And this new moon is that space that we need in order to come back to ourselves, in order to recenter back into ourselves and reintegrate all those lessons so that we can have more clarity and a clear path moving forward. So this is not just a forecast for this new moon, it's a forecast that will help you understand what are the energies that have been affecting your life up until this moment and that will take you forward in the months to come. One of these major transits is Pluto squaring Venus. Pluto is power and its transformation. Venus has to do with our relationships, with the things we love, with the things we value, and in the sign of Taurus has also to do with our resources, how we acquire them, how we keep them. And Pluto making this tense aspect to Venus will help to bring out the major issues in these areas, will put more intensity and pressure. So during this time, you may find that your relationships are more intense. Issues with possessiveness, with jealousy, with power struggle may come up during this time. And you may find out that your relationships and certain things in the life may not align with your values anymore, and you may decide to let them go. Or you may decide to transform yourself in other way. You may decide that the way you have been going about your relationships is not something that you would like to take moving forward, and you may decide to undergo a personal individual change in terms of how you relate. You may also find yourself during this time being attracted to people that represent the new values that you would like to have, the new changes that you are making into your life, people that represent those things. You may find yourself attracted and fascinated by these people. The universe, although, may also bring you like karmic relationships that will take things into a breaking point, relationships with people that represent those karmic issues that you need to address, people who will really up the notch in the intensity level and make those things that you would like to let go so evident that you will have that certainty of what you need to remove out of your life. So this transit is definitely bringing darkness and shadow into light, especially in the way how we relate, how we value ourselves, how we share our resources. Besides this transit, we will also have Chiron conjuncting Mercury in Aries. Chiron is connected with our deepest wounds. Wounds that are so deep that come from past lives, that come from our childhood, from our family. And conjuncting Mercury which represents the way we communicate, the way we relate with people, the way we share and acquire knowledge. In the sign of Aries, which represents our identity, the self, who am I am, is the Aries, the sign of identity. This conjunction, Chiron and Mercury happen in Aries, will then bring out all the wounds that we have regarding our self-identity. When we go to our childhood, for example, maybe when we were a child, we experienced experiences in which we were rejected or shamed upon some characteristics that we had. Imagine you were born in a family in which the characteristics you start displaying as a child, in the way you behaved, the way even the way you looked, maybe have been considered as flawed or undesirable or wrong. And you may end up growing, suppressing those characteristics in yourself. And you may end up attracting relationships and dynamics that keep on reflecting back to you that dynamic that you had with your family. You may attract people in groups and relationships with people that will try to make you feel flawed, make you feel like you're not good enough, like there's something wrong with you, like some things about you are not right or correct. You may as well have grown up in a family in which there were a standard or a pattern for behavior, in which you could only behave in a certain way, and you needed to basically suppress those authentic parts of yourself in order to fit in into a certain standard that was considered desirable, or that you couldn't actually go up or develop upper to a certain level because you were so forced to suppress that and to believe that you could never surpass your family peers, for example. Then you grow up and you keep on attracting these situations, these relationships in which you are in groups of people that force you to behave in a certain way in order to be accepted and to reject certain parts of yourself so that you can fit in into that group. You may also start sabotaging yourself in order to not go beyond certain level or above certain level, so because you keep on receiving that feedback that you need to stay in a certain line and you cannot surpass certain people. So you sabotage yourself, you do not win in certain things, you do not develop, you do not go for success because you keep on attracting these relationships of people that want to keep you in a certain level. The lesson here inherently is to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. You have a unique DNA and you are your unique person the way God made you, and it is for a reason. And understanding that there's nothing flawed with you, that you are enough just the way you are, that you are perfect just the way you are. This is the inherent lesson of this wounding that many of us will be working through, is a lesson of self-love, of self-acceptance, and of understanding that there is not such thing as being flawed, that we all are perfect in our own way. And the only way we can be happy is if we are authentic and we can embrace ourselves fully and embrace our uniqueness. Other way this dynamic can play out, it may be in terms of desire or of sexual taboo things or sexual needs. Maybe when you were young, you started expressing your sexuality, and if you grow up in a family that is conservative or had certain values, you may have been shamed, you may have been made to feel like you were sinful or dirty or somehow wrong, and you grow up suppressing those needs and those desires in yourself, and you end up also judging these desires and needs in others because you yourself, you were not allowed to express them. And you keep on attracting relationships and dynamic on people that keep on making you feel wronged, making you feel sinful, making you feel like you are some sort of a perverted person because you have some desires and some needs that do not align with these people's values. So the lesson here is for you to embrace your desires and for you to trust your instincts and to accept that we are incarnated into physical body. So there are certain things that are expression of the physical body that you need to embrace in order to feel fulfilled, in order to feel full, in order to feel aligned with your path, in order to grow and to evolve. We all need to deal with things and aspects of our physical body and our desire because they are also part of our evolutionary path and they are also part of the experience of being a human being. So this is just an example to explain how these Chiron wounds may play out, where they come from, how they affect you, and why you keep on attracting certain relationship dynamics over and over and over into your life. They are basically an echo effect of a situation that you have undergone when you were young, maybe even in a past life, and you come into this life and you play out those same dynamics. You keep on attracting those same relationships that are triggering and awakening these wounds in you. And ultimately, if you are able to overcome your pain and your wounding, the major objective of this transit is help you to embrace and accept yourself, to find love and acceptance in yourself, and to turn those things that you reject or those things you're afraid of in yourself into a source of power, into a source of self-empowerment, and a source of healing that you can even help to use to help heal other people. So enough with Chiron conjunct Mercury. This is the last time the Chiron is conjuncting Mercury, so this year. So this is a great opportunity for you to finally put a final point on those wounds, release them, heal them, let them go, embrace them, and embrace self-love and self-acceptance. And this transit will take us up until the new moon, where you finally will have that opportunity to give yourself a new start in self-love. Another major and very important transit, maybe for me, in my opinion, this is the most important transit of this time, is Neptune opposite Lilith. This is a transit that will take us up until August. So it's a major transit that will be a fixed note in the background going up until August. So for me, it's a very important, very intense energy that will be affecting us, and it is giving us basically the theme of the season. So what this transit means? Lilith has to do with our deepest emotions, and the darkest one is there as well. Anger, jealousy, desire, sexual desire, taboo desires, everything that we tend to suppress, everything that we tend to hide, everything that we tend to deny in ourselves. Our so-called shadow self. This is Lilith. And when Lilith is opposing a planet, it brings out the most negative aspects of this planet. And Lilith is opposing Neptune. So what are the dark sides of Neptune? Neptune, in its dark side, it breaks things. If it's in the sign connected to the body, it may even break the body. It may cause disease, infection. But Neptune right now is in Pisces. It's in its domicile. It's in the sign connected with the spirit. So this opposition may actually break a person's spirit, may break a person's identity, may break a person's self-esteem. And how this can happen? It can happen through a situation of scandal, a situation of loss of reputation, of embarrassment. It may happen that something that some people may be doing wrongly may come up into the public, causing a scandal or loss of reputation. But as Neptune is also connected with gossip in its more negative sense and expression, or gossip or lies or manipulation, it may also lead to embarrassment and loss of reputation and scandal, in a sense that some kind of lie and manipulation may come into the public that has nothing to do with the reality of the person itself. So what is the objective of these things happening, of this transit, of this type of situations happening? The objective is to, magically in evolutionary sense, is to turn the individual back into himself. Because this individual that is undergoing this intense situation will not have that validation from the outside world anymore. The world is not positive, is not supportive anymore. So the only way for the individual or for the person to find some kind of balance and find some kind of refuge is to turn into themselves, is to find a way to re-embrace themselves, to find who they are, to one more time ask that question at Iris, who am I? Who am I, despite of all these horrific things that are happening out there, all this negative backlash and negative feedback that I'm receiving? Who am I? This is the major objective of this transit. But in order for this person to find themselves, they need to go through the scandal, through the shame, through the embarrassment, through all the lies, all the manipulations, through the guilt. They need to overcome all these dark emotions to reconnect with themselves. But in my opinion, this transit is very positive because it's a transit that really forces the person to fight, to find who they are, to find the self-individuality and identity, to find their self-love. It's like being in a storm outside and the only refuge is your house, it's yourself. So it is definitely a transit of major reconnection with the self and with the self-love, even though that is not a comfortable transit, even though that is not a feel-good transit, even though that it will bring out the darkest parts of us, not just as individuals, but as humanity. Because when we're facing a situation of scandal, of shame, of embarrassment, our dark sides and dark aspects of ourselves may tend to come also as well into the forefront and become evident for everybody to see and for ourselves. At the individual level, this is very, very important, but as well as a worldwide level, this transit will help to bring out some of the darker sides of humanity in order for us to be able to see them and to address them, and in a way that we cannot also ignore or pretend is not there, the way most of us usually do. So this is definitely the transit, in my opinion, the transit, because this is what will help to bring out really, really the shadow side into the light. And then we have some supportive transit that will come as well together, and with this transit that will help us to address those shadow sides, those aspects, those negative aspects that are coming out, and will empower us to transform that energy into something positive and uplifting. One of these transits is Pluto sextile Neptune. This is smaller, shorter transit that will also take us up until the new moon, and it's a transit that will help us to have that power and the strength to challenge the status quo, to fight for ourselves, to fight for our freedom and for our rights. Pluto is power, Neptune is the collective, Neptune is spirituality, is love, is compassion. And Pluto is empowering us, by sextile Neptune is empowering us to connect with humanity, to connect with those issues, to see them and to address them instead of just ignoring them, disregarding us, because it will give us a greater sense of empathy and connection with everybody, with everyone, with the spiritual world, with our higher self. So this is very beautiful transit that will help us to see how we all have a major role to play in the transformation, not just of ourselves, but also humanity. How we also have a responsibility in everything that happens, and how we ourselves can help to make things better for ourselves and for others. And finally, we have Pluto trining Jupiter. Pluto trining Jupiter, it's a transit that will take us up into June. It's also a major energy that will be playing out together with the Neptune opposite Lilith, which is very interesting because Neptune opposite Lilith is bringing down up that underbelly, that dark side into the light, and Pluto trining Jupiter is in the other side, helping to transform that shadow. Pluto is power and transformation. Jupiter is expansion, is higher knowledge, is higher self, is absence of negative boundaries. So when there is this aspect, there will be more optimism, there will be more compassion, there will be more sense of charity, of concern with issues regarding justice, regarding equality, regarding discrimination. People will feel more propelled and more empathetic towards helping others, towards addressing those issues, towards organizing themselves to addressing those issues. Jupiter's in Taurus has to do with our resources. Pluto is in Aquarius, which is freedom, which is equality, which is the people. So maybe there will be some initiatives being taken place in order to share resources more equally, in order to bring the need to those people who are less favorable, who are more vulnerable, who are in need, who are undergoing situations of war, or maybe poverty, or maybe discrimination. But besides that, Jupiter is also the planet of expansion, of learning, of knowledge. So you may also have the opportunity to expand your knowledge, expand your learning, to expand your resources. This is a transit that will, a trine that will start while Jupiter is in Taurus, which has to do with our resources, which is great for expanding our resources, our resourcefulness, our as well connections and values and the things you love, and work on our security. But once Jupiter goes into Gemini, we will have this opportunity to have expanded intuition, with receiving downloads from the universe in terms of knowledge, with seeking learning, with meeting gurus and people who inspire us and uplifting us. We will have that opportunity to pursue our dreams, to pursue our passions without the fear, without the boundaries, without any constrictions or any barriers or any fear of judgment. So we will have more empowerment and more courage to pursue the things we love, and to connect with people, to connect with higher, wider public. Gemini is knowledge, and we will be thirsting for knowledge. Gemini is connection, it's communication, and we'll be thirsting for that as well. So it is very, very interesting time, my friends, and I'm looking forward to it. So if you are right now maybe undergoing and dealing with some more darker issues, more heavy issues, hang on in there. Things are definitely shifting and about to change. And let's try to have the positive perspective that we need to see the darkness so that we can transform this darkness into something positive, into the light, so that we can uplift ourselves. We need to let go of those things that are holding us back. And in order to let go of those things, we need to see them. We need to address them. We need to undergo those moments, undergo those uncomfortable, challenging feelings, so that we can ascend, so that we can move forward lighter, with a lighter heart, with a lighter spirit. So this is my forecast for this new moon. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can take something out of this video that is useful for your life. Thank you so much for listening, my friends. I wish you a happy new moon in Taurus. Much love.